My car was there and now it's there.
Did you leave it there?
No, of course I didn't leave it in the road. I've got the...
Well, I'd go and get it if I were you.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Top Gear pranks.
It's much better.
For this list, we're going to be looking at the times where the Top Gear gang have caused misery to one another in exchange for laughs. Let us know in the comments which pranks from the boys took you back to your school days. Number 10. African Sabotage.
To demonstrate that Hammond's car was too small, James and I bought him a present.
Every Top Gear special includes pranks, silly presents, and hilarious squabbles, but none will ever quite beat the African special. It started off with a simple and jovial present for Hammond to prove that his car was too small to accommodate it.
How long's that been there?
But it all turned sour very quickly after Jeremy had found out that James had stolen a bit of bodywork to help his Volvo.
I know it's from my door.
Well, you're not using that bit, and it was more useful on my car.
In the morning, Clarkson exacted his revenge, which paved way for not just one of the most iconic lines in the show, but a merry-go-round for bits of each other's car.
Clarkson!
Number 9. A drag race on the toilet. The presenters were in the United States on their way to the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah in 3 American muscle cars.
It is a documentary, it's not like a fooling around show, no, it's a serious show.
This wasn't a normal Top Gear road trip, however, as the US government declared that it had to be a factual documentary with no comedy, but Jeremy decided to make an exception.
Clarkson!
What?
Because of the enormity of the occasion, Jeremy wanted to make sure he prepared for such a historic landmark. But instead of doing it in his car like everyone else did, he decided to practice in the RV he and his colleagues were sleeping in, and it's safe to say that Captain Slow was not impressed.
Clarkson, you infantile pillock. You're tidying that up.
Number 8. Leaning Tower of Citroën. The producers decided to send the presenters off to create their own motorhomes, and as usual, Jeremy's design wasn't understated. Driving around in a block of flats sounded like a great idea, but when the convoy took to the open road, there seemed to be a couple of design flaws. Not only was it completely terrifying, it also held everyone up, and James and Richard had had enough. When Clarkson went off to get an ice cream, they saw an opportunity to exact their revenge, although it didn't exactly go to plan.
Even in a motorhome does make sense. Is that all right?
Number 7. Pink Panther.
Come on,
Are
Mitch.
you off then?
Yeah.
This is it? Yeah. 1,000 miles.
The Vietnam special saw the team attempt to get from the south to the north of Vietnam on bikes, which certainly didn't please Jeremy. Hammond, however, was delighted to be riding on motorbike. Clarkson's mood wasn't helped when he and James were given kitchen utensils as helmets, so to punish Hammond, they tested his helmet out.
We bought you another one.
However, this didn't dampen Richard's spirits too much, so the others decided that his bike could do with a quick makeover, with some help from the friendly locals.
The atmosphere was a little tense.
Number 6. Cool Karma.
Everything's working. Engine is as sweet as a nut. My karma is very good.
James always makes the mistake of bragging to the others about how nice his air conditioning is, as invariably it gets broken in the middle of the night. So when his air conditioning was working again in the India special, he decided to not tell his colleagues. After May had missed the train, his Rolls-Royce was left in the hands of Pinky and Perky, and they discovered that their abandoned co-presenter hadn't been entirely honest with them.
Gandhi would approve of what I'm doing now.
This is a noble act. Oh,
Nothing to see here.
A philosophical discussion led them to conclude that the air conditioning should break, and James wasn't happy when he found out later that day. This being Top Gear, however, he had to get even and inflict some misery.
Funny. Very funny. What James has done is turned my heater up to full and then removed the heater knob so I can't turn it back down again.
Number 5. Golden Rain. A massive long-distance lorry trip awaited the trio in the Burma Special, and after realizing that they weren't going to get a good night's sleep in any of the hotels the producers had provided, they decided to modify their lorries into hotels. Hammond was very keen to showcase the addition of a shower in his lorry, with the water coming from fresh rainwater.
I have been behind you, unable to get...
I now know why they have those stickers for lorry drivers. If you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you.
However, later on, Richard infamously backed into Jeremy's beloved sports lorry and broke it in the process. So, to pay him back, Jeremy and James thought Hammond's shower feature could do with a personal touch.
This does pay him back for holding us up all day long.
Yep.
Number 4. A beefy head. The first proper Top Gear special was in Botswana, where the boys would encounter Makgadikgadi salt pan, river crossings, and a drive through the Okavango Delta, a massive wildlife reserve with many killer animals.
A burger van driving through.
To prepare for such a drive, the presenters had to replace all the bits they had previously thrown away when they crossed the Makgadikgadi. Because they were going to come face to face with lions, Clarkson decided that it was the perfect time to unveil a cow's head as a boot ornament for May's car. However, it didn't go to plan, so Hammond decided that it should be relocated to James's tent. But there was a bit of a logistical failure on Hammond's part.
That's my bag in James's tent. This is my tent!
Number 3. Mayday. As we've already said, the Burma Special saw the trio build their own motorhomes in their lorries, and when they were showing off their designs, it quickly dawned on Clarkson and Hammond that James hadn't built anything for him to sleep in. This was because he had a mountaineering tent that could be erected with a crane. But although it was insect-proof, it was unfortunately not soundproof.
Sleep for Jeremy and I was impossible.
After enduring sleepless nights, Jeremy had had enough and thoughtfully decided to move May's tent away from the campsite. What wasn't thoughtful was where he decided to move it to, but it certainly gave us a hilarious moment.
James, you've fallen out of your tent!
Number 2. Genesis. Throughout the history of Top Gear, Richard Hammond made no secret of his dislike towards the iconic band Genesis.
Genesis, Hammond, I know you like it.
The trio were on their way to Bethlehem as 3 wise men and had to pick 3 two-seater convertibles, with Clarkson's and May's breaking down frequently. Hammond's little Fiat, however, was working like clockwork, and he wasn't afraid to share his smugness.
James, I've got the perfect CD. Come on.
This angered his colleagues, so they decided to give him the Journey from Hell by gluing his stereo so it could only play 1 CD continuously.
Mate.
Unfortunately, it wasn't the best morning for sudden surprises, but the prank's execution was easily the best moment of the special.
Right. Bloody keyboard solo.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 1. May I Rave.
A banging stereo for me tunes.
The producers had tasked the boys to buy the perfect car for a 17-year-old, with all of them having various degrees of success. To spruce them up a bit, they used whatever money they had left over to modify their cars. Rather surprisingly, James spent all his money on one thing, and it wasn't what you'd expect.
That's glued,
Volume's glued.
glued, glued.
Because Clarkson and Hammond hadn't had as much money left over as May, they decided to address the balance by changing the style of music that was coming from his stereo. Captain Slow was less than impressed, and his co-presenters had countless fun with the remote control.
Maybe we'll have converted him.
That's an unhappy spaniel right there, isn't it?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and subscribe for more great content.